They're just taking their time. Hi everybody, welcome back to Sticks and Stones. This is Kevin, back with another video. We're practicing working with our knife and some hand tools. And I got this nice little thick chunk today. It's going to be hard to hold, but gonna see what we can make on them, and we'll get some more practice in with our hand tools. Okay, it's going to come down about, I don't know, about an inch or so, I guess, and we'll start about here. Just put a little line, and we'll get the flex cut out, and we're going to push straight in here and take a little chunk of wood out there. All right, now we're going to come up a little bit, not dig this in too much yet, just making a little V cut and putting that little dent in our wood. Okay, now that's a nice thick piece. We might be able to do something pretty good here. All right, I'm going to extend this and kind of slope it down here a little bit. I want to break this up. We'll do something different in this video. Let's try to break this up into threes. And I'm going to run a stop cut down that way. If I can stay on the line here. I got my camera right in my face. Sorry about that. And I stop cut there. So we got this one cut right here, right? Let's come over here to this side. Push up. Like that. We'll take a piece out there. We'll come over here. And we'll run up. And we'll take a piece out up here. Okay. Now this knife doesn't have the best point on it because I think I just snapped it in the last video. But so we're thinking in threes kind of here. 1, 2 over here. Okay. And 3 being this cut here. Pretty simple. All right. If it's not perfect, don't worry about it. We're not going to stress over it. All right. So that's what we're going for there. All right. And we'll start fanning this down, and we'll put a nice little face here and try to give them a little expression. Don't know what we're going to make yet, but we'll make us something. I'll get my file out just in case. All right. Let's take our pencil or marker. Let's come down a little bit more. Let's just give this guy a long nose. Kind of, we'll make it come to a point here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just dig into the corner of the block here, just like that. Come over here and dig in, get a little cut in there, and we'll take this little chip out, like that. Come over here, take this little chip out. Okay, and that'll give us a little pointed nose at the bottom there. All right. And again, we'll try to flatten this here. Come over here. Try and get a whole different plane there. And right here. Yeah. The file definitely cuts better than that old flex cut. Okay. So that's where we're at here. Okay. Now, we're going to come back up to here, and I'm going to draw a line about here because we want to make our nose stand out. So we're giving it, this right here is about 1/4 inch for me on this block. You just kind of adjust it to whatever wood you're using. We're going to take our knife and we're going to push straight down almost. Okay, making that pretty deep. Then we're going to V into that cut just like that. Now this will make that nose start going back. Okay, let's push down a little bit as we go across here. Pushing that wood up into there. Getting that out. And we're going to go a little bit on each side pushing down into this stop cut that we made, okay? Kind of raising an eye ridge here, all right? And then clearing that chip, just like that. Over here, push down, clear that chip. Now, if you look at this from the side, what it's going to do to the carving is it's going to start making that nose go up, all right? We'll come down to here, come right over here to the nose, chop this piece off, and now he's not so pointy, all right? Okay, that's pretty easy. We got an eye ridge starting up here. I'm going to make this a little bit more extreme. Opening that up a little bit, giving us some room for those eyes, whatever we decide to do with those. Okay. And I might want to take that down just a little bit more over here. Good. Leaving kind of a point there at the top. And this right here will just round over. And we'll leave that right there. Now, where do we want to go with this? Do we want to have a big mustache? Do we want to put a set of lips in here? Do we want to make another Native American? What do we want to do? All right. Don't know what I want to do at the top here either. So I'm going to start by taking this top, cutting some of these corners off because this block's pretty bulky. I want to round this off a little bit. Either way, so I don't have too much of that hanging over. We'll figure out what I want to put here. Now the face, do I want to come this far down? Not sure what type of face yet, so let's do this. I'm going to come over here and we'll start a mustache here. I'm going to draw a line there and right here. I'm going to draw a line just like that. All right. Then we're going to draw two more. And these are going to be cuts, all right? To make this nose stand out, we're going to make a cut here. Then we're going to make a cut here. All right. And that'll bring that nose up and start setting it in. So what we're going to do is stop cut here and here. And then we're going to take out from this direction, from the top down, to start forming our mustache. Let me show you what I mean here. First, get your knife, come right over here to the corner, dig it in, pull it down right a little bit like that. Take your knife, make this stop cut. We're going straight in here, all right? Just like this. Okay, now let's attach those two with our removal cut and take that out. All right, that's going to start raising the upper part of the mustache. So let's do it over here. Dig it in, pull it down a little bit, come over here, go straight in, just like that. Okay, and then we'll come up here to the top and we'll connect these two lines with our removal cut, and we'll take a little sliver of wood out there. All right, that little chip. See how it starts setting that nose in? All right, and if it's not deep enough, I might want to do it again. All right, which I think I'm going to just a little bit here, because we want that to be pretty deep. Pop that chip out. Over here on this side, he's pretty good over here on this side. So I think I'll just leave that where it is. Now I'm going to come up here and make sure that we clean out from under that nose just a little bit more. Now that nose will be set in there pretty good. Okay. Now, we can run this down into a big mustache. Or we could just put a lip down here. So, I'm going to round this over just a little bit up to that nose. I'm not going to go too crazy, because I still don't know what I want to do yet. When I get to the top, I'll just remove it to keep those out of the way there. All right. Okay, so now that nose is starting to stick out really far already. We didn't even angle the forehead back but that's a way to get a nice little nose started. That's a little different, a little easier for you guys than some of the other ways we've been covering. And starts giving you room up here for your eyes. Okay, I want to continue this cut that we started up here. So what I want to do is stop cut and start bringing some of this down on the side here. Okay, with a removal cut, come over here, stop cut, get a nice little removal cut up in here, pop that chip out. We'll start getting some shadow across the top. We'll push this back just a little bit, keep it nice and round and clean. Okay, clean it up after you cut. And get some shadow up in there. Okay, now we might start, I'm starting to think hair already here. But first, what I want to do is we're going to take this line right here, we're going to extend it down, all right? And we're going to bring it up like this. I'm going to bring this one down, and we're going to bring it up like this, all right? Just think like 2 V's. Okay. Then we're going to put another line. We'll extend this down. We'll put another line about here. Okay. Think of this extending over just a little. We'll put another line right here. Okay. These are going to be the sides of his face. And say we're going to make a beard. All right. That will be the beginning of his beard, and these will be his cheeks. Okay. So what we're going to do, now we could do this with our V tool, but since we have our knife, let's do it with our knife. But first, let's cut these sides in right here. So make sure this stop cut extends to that line. All right, and we do have some wood taken out from underneath it, because this is going to start forming the side of his face. All right, so we're going to take this stop cut right here, push straight in, come down just a little bit, come over, sorry, and take that out just like that. All right, giving ourselves a little bit of start on his hair and starting to frame the face in on that side. I'm going to do this on this side. I'll bring it down, turn it over, take that side out. So now we have the face going in over on this side and the other side, right? Starting to already dig the sides of the face into the wood there, all right? Just like that. Now, let's connect these right up to under the corner of the nose. Make a stop cut. Come over here, make another stop cut. And bring those down so they touch together. All right? And we're going to cut down into that stop cut, like so. Cut down into stop cut. And now we have his cheek starting to form there. Let's do the same over here. Come down to your V. Come over here, make sure they connect, okay? Make sure it goes right up under his hair there. I'm going to take a little slice out here, come over here, come down and push into your V, just like so. Okay, now we got his cheeks starting to form inside. See that? Okay, now we can do a quick little simple mustache. I'm going to just round this off a little. This will be a nice little chunky guy, this face. I love when I have a lot of wood though, because it's just easy to get any kind of depth you want, and you have plenty to play with. Those little ones is a little hard, oops, a little hard to hold, but much, much better than trying to hold those little tiny things in my hand. All right, let's just give him a simple V cut. I come up to about here. I'm going to dig my knife in, pull it down just a little bit, come over here, attach it, dig it in, pull it down just a little bit. Okay, we're not going to start a huge mouth. Come over here to the side, pop that chip out, come over here to the side, we'll try to take a chunk out there. All right, and we'll start that mustache. Now all this we're going to push up and underneath. Just like that. To start forming our mustache. So we got the top of our mustache up here starting to form, and this will be the bottom of our mustache. I don't know what we're going to do with the mouth yet, but we'll try to give him kind of a cool mouth. And that's where we're at there. All right. Now what I want to do is thin his face out just a little bit up at the top. So what we're going to do up here is I'm going to cut right here. Make that stop cut again. Make it pretty deep. Come up here. Make a stop cut so we can have a V. And then we're not going to take this whole cut. We're only going to go about halfway up, about here. And we're going to take that wedge of wood right there out. Okay? Just start burying that face in, all right, and start thinning it out a little bit up here at the top, because we don't want it all just round, all right? We want to kind of make it kind of go up, triangular shape a little bit more at the top. Now we're going to do the same thing over here, all right? Just dig this in a little bit. Now if I want to get this a little bit better, because this one's pretty round. See how much I'm digging in there, all right? I'm going to want to take this one over a little more. I like getting depth right there at the top. See? And this one then, I'm going to do the same thing. Get a little bit more. And like I said, see, the cheek is still here. I'm here on the cheek. I'm not all the way down running it up. All right? Just trying to get some depth in the sides of the head. All right? There we go. And that'll give him a lot more interesting look. Okay? Okay, let's see where else we want to go with his face. Let's figure we'll, since the beard is cutting in here and this will be the sides of his face over here, we're going to extend this out a little bit more. We'll bring it down this way, I guess. Because I want some room for some hair too. All right? So, let's go back to our knife here. Let's extend this down even more now with a stop cut. And we'll come up and take a sliver of wood out there. If we can get it out. There we go. And we'll try to give ourselves room for some hair over here. And then we'll just have a beard that comes down. Okay. So extend this cut here. Bring it down enough so we can get some hair in there. Remove a piece of wood there. Then we can start putting hair in. All right. Good. Yeah, that won't look too bad. I'm going to take a little bit more out on each side. Just like that. Okay. Good. Now let's see what we want to do down here. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to push my knife in here. I'm going to try and take some wood out and establish about where I want to put this beard. Okay. Because now it could be a whole different. Could do something like this. Do we want it this big? Or do we want it to go like this? Thinking something, I might turn that beard where it cuts in a hair and do something like this actually. Sorry for drawing all over the wood. I just didn't really start with a plan here. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this all the way down. We're going to follow this cut. Okay, just like that. We're going to bring it all the way down to here. So the one that we put into the side of the face, we're going to bring that all the way down just like that. And then we're going to remove some wood. If I can hold this thing. And I'm going to run a relief cut. Just like that. Pop that chip out. And that's where we're going to do with the hair. Okay. Let's do the same on this side. Going to follow this line down to here, but once it gets down here, I'm going to come all the way down, burying my knife into the wood. Okay. And let's see if we can make this cut, if my eyes can follow it without my visor on. And we're just going to pop that out. So now we have something to push all that face into, and we'll figure out how to take that beard out in a second. Now, all of these lines, don't worry about them right now. We'll shave them off momentarily so we don't get confused. And the hair on this side, I think I'm just going to extend this right over and off. Like that. That way we don't get confused there. All right, so I'm going to just come over here, take a little wedge of wood out right here. And that'll give us a stopping point so we can see what the heck's going on and what we want to do there. Now, this right here, I think I'm going to stay with this line for the beard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start angling my knife. If I could hold this thing. All right. So I'm angling it down and then pushing up. All right. Angling down a little bit, pushing up. Just trying to establish where I want to get that face to go here. All right. I'm going to do the same over here. Now what I can do, let me whack this corner off there. There we go. We don't need all that. We're going to take it all the way up on this side, all right? But we have to stop when we get here because it's going under the hair. We're going to make this hair stick out and then put a neck on the guy, I think. All right? So we're only going to go from here to here, all right? We're going to push down, angle up, push down, all right? And we're going to make that go right over to here. Can even do this and that, just enough to get that jawline in, or you can stop cut it and then cut up to it. Okay, totally up to you which way you want to do it. It's a little thick for me to hold, so I'm just getting it however I can. All right, but that's going to be the line that I'm going to follow for the bottom of his beard. Okay, now let's push this into the side of the face and let's run this up to there. We'll get this side to go in a little bit better. Okay, and then we'll take this and get that hair to stand out on the side a little bit by removing some wood here. Okay, just like that. Over here on this side, same thing. I'm going to set the block down because it's just wiggling all over in my hand. And we're going to make sure that we take it out. Stop cut if it's not going to come out too easy. Go straight in. And we'll take some wood out there. Okay. So that way we're separating the hair here from here. Now I'm going to start pushing this beard down at a 45. Right. Just a small V cut. Push down, down, V cut to remove it. Okay. Under the chin, same thing. I'm going to push in, push up. Just like that. And I'm going to round this chin off a little bit with the cuts. Slowly working my way up. Till I get up to here, and I'm going to leave a little bit of wood there because I don't know what kind of mouth I want to give him yet. I want to make him kind of expressive. All right. All right. Let's separate the hair a little bit more here. Over here on the side. Get that to go up and underneath. And we'll probably make some kind of hat, okay? Because this is all going to be hair. And let's take this sharp corner off here. We'll start rounding all that back. We'll get rid of this line so we know that's not going to be his jaw anymore. We already got that cut in. And I'm going to be dropping this piece until I can get, maybe taking some of these corners off. I'll take it down a little bit, you know. Just a little too bulky. And having a napkin on the table don't help. All right. I'm going to cut under here and get this side to stand out. Round this over. Get rid of those confusing marker lines. We don't need them now because we figured out where we want to go. We could probably still make a Native American out of this, but he's got a beard to him. Probably more of a mountain man you could make out of this guy. Okay, I'm just cleaning the bottom up here. I'm going to leave a little bit of wood right here because we might put a little necklace or something on him. And over here, make sure that's cut in pretty good and going under the hair there. Okay? Try to clean that up straight in. Okay, so now we have a nice little face started. His profile is going to be really cool because of the way that nose is set in there. And we're going to give him some kind of lip. But we're going to need to figure out what we want as far as up here goes. And this is going to be a lot of wood to take down because this guy is thick. Something like that. Maybe we'll try to round this off, but not too much. I'll just give him a hat like that. Something simple. So I'm going to whack these corners off over here. And we'll try to round this guy back a little bit once we have the idea where we're going. With this whole hat thing. All right, so we can get it in our head where we want to go with the whole hat. Okay. And down here, like I said, I'm going to try to keep it high in the middle and then just clean this up a little bit with simple little paring cuts just like that. I'll leave this kind of high because we can always put a little something around here, you know. Now those little mountain men have the what do they call those little necklaces with the got a pendant with a tooth on it or something, you know, or a feather on it. So we can do something like that at the bottom. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here with my knife, right? But something like that we'll put down there. Okay, the thing is trying to get a nice expression on them is where I want to go with this, and see if we can do it with our knife and a couple of gouges. I'm going to extend this mustache now just a little bit. Take a little wood out. Take a little wood out, and we still have plenty of wood to try and come up with an expression. So what I'm going to do is go straight in, like so, and then I'm going to cut down to it. And we'll see if we can get a mouth in here. That's a little different than just cutting our little V. So I want to leave a little bit flat. And we'll get our gouges out and we'll play with that. See what we can do. Okay. Shaping up a little bit. Okay. Let's go up here for a second and think about these eyes. I want to push down a little bit more up here, give myself a little bit more room. And I'm going to extend this down. Okay. Just like that. Then we're going to take this corner just a little bit more downward. Okay. Like so. And the same over here. I'm going to push down in that stop cut over there. And try and get that to slope down just a little bit more. To make him look a little bit more interesting. And give myself more room at the top up here. Alright. Just like that. Now, we're going to make a cut right up in here, right in the corner. Because we're going to separate this nose a little bit more. All right, we're going to bring that down. Come over here. Make a cut. And then we're going to take this piece of wood out. Okay. Right in here. Take that chip out. Okay. Just like that. That'll start making that nose stand out when we put that eye in. Let's do the same over here. It's going about here. About that much room so the nose is thin at the top. Okay, I'm going to bring this down. But not too far. Push in here. And let's come here and try and pop this chip out. If we can. Just like that. Give ourselves a little bit of scoopage. And we'll start forming an eye channel here. And we're going to do the same over here. Right? Going to scoop just a little bit by rolling our knife. And we're giving ourselves room for two eyes. And then we can kind of shave up the nose here on both sides. And we'll try to get it to be a little thinner at the top. And it starts shaping that nose out pretty good, see that? Okay, and then we'll figure out what we want to do with the eyes. But just giving myself a little bit of room because it is pretty shallow up here. So I want to scoop a little bit of wood out there. Just like that. And we'll keep that nose going up through here. Now what we're going to do with the eyebrows right here is we're going to separate them with a little triangle. And take a piece of wood out there. So just keep pushing until that chip falls out. And then we have something to push our nose up and into. Okay? Just like that. Don't worry, these aren't eyes yet. Where we took those chips out, we're just trying to give ourselves a little bit of space here underneath those eyelids to form our eyes. Okay. And we started rounding off his eyebrows. And we separated them anyway. Okay. So let's round those. Push them up into the forehead. Make a stop cut. And try and get them to go underneath up here. Just like that. We'll stop cut across here. Oops. And we'll push that one up. Little tiny cuts. So it doesn't get away from us. All right. And just go and shape that all the way down and around. And we're starting to form where we can put his eyes. Scoop a little bit more out here and under the eye and up. Okay, just like this. He almost looks like a Native American from the side, doesn't he? Okay, till you hit that beard and then you go, oh, okay. I do like the nose though. All right, and we can shave that nose down and round all that in later. Clean it up. Take our little marker marks off and everything else. And definitely clean up where it's going into these eyes, because we want that to blend together. On the sides of the face here. That one little line right there I want to clean up. This side right here is good. So I'm wondering if I can just scoop it enough to get that line out of there. And get that nose to blend in just a little bit better. Okay. And once we finish those eyes, we put eyes in there, that'll all blend up. Okay. Excuse me, I got the dust. Let's take these cheeks into the hair a little bit more. Because we have our cuts there. So we're just going to round this in. Make them just a little bit more dug in there. By pushing that wood into our stop cut that we already made right at the beginning. And clean them up a little bit there. Okay, so our profile's coming pretty good. Over here by the nose, we'll clean that up in a little bit. Underneath the nose, if we want a little bit more depth, we could take a little bit more wood out in the corners here. For now, though, he looks pretty good. I like the way his beard's forming. His lips sticking out just a tad. If anything, I want to even with the nose, but not too much past the nose. So I'm going to take this down. And we could make him a yodeler and give him a mouth shape like that, like he's yodeling, if we want. We have plenty of wood to do whatever we want. We could give him some teeth. But let's work around the back and we'll figure that out as we go. I'm going to take a little bit more out here so we can animate the hair a little. Sticking out a little too much. So I'm going to take a couple of wedges of wood out there. And we're going to have to round this off more again. Rounding off slowly because I really don't know what kind of hat I want to go with here, but we're going to have to start pushing all this back. And to do that, I'm going to start by pushing down and then in, instead of stop cutting all the way across. Okay, just going to push down, push in, push down, push in. Just a little at a time. Okay. And we'll go all the way across. Just making small V cuts. One there, one there, one there, one there. Okay, and it's just a way to start setting that in. It's a little easier down here. It's going to be hard for me to do, so I'll run a stop cut. Try and take some up to there, and it'll give me an idea of just what I want to do with that hat, which I still don't know. I guess we're going to stick to this plan. And we'll try to round this pretty good. If we round it really good, we might be able to pull off more of a mountain man type look. So I think I'm going to try that. Because there's not much up there for the hat. So we'll keep it pretty small. It's just it's a lot to take down. So I'm going to have to start taking all this down. All right. And we're going to push it back, back, back as we go. Yeah, because this right here is sticking way too far out. So let's start shaving some of this up here. This is where the work comes in, knife carving, when you have to do this, but it's not so bad if you keep your knife sharp, okay? You might have to strop it afterwards. I'm just a little at a time going around. Don't have to take big, huge bites. And we'll start rounding that. No messing up my towel here, that's for sure. Hold on. Pulling everything towards me. And we'll keep rounding that. I'm going to keep rounding until I can get this rounded over. And we'll see where we can go from there. Okay, so I started rounding this over, and he is starting to look more and more like a mountain man to me, so I think that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to cut some of these corners off the back here, because it's just a little too thick for my little hand. And maybe we'll make a pipe, and we'll make this guy smoking a pipe. And it'll be a nice little project, but I might get the gouges out, just so we can play with him and make him a little more interesting, give you a little more experience with gouges. Okay, and some of the other tools that we use. Some of you guys are ready for that on this channel, definitely. Some of you just might want to play. Either way, you try it out. That's how you learn. Hey, I'm learning as I'm going here because I have no idea what I'm going to do with this guy yet. I'm just kind of shaping him, and whatever shape I get, I'm going to run with. And I started pulling this whole hat, you know, rounding this off, and he definitely for sure looks like he's going to be a mountain man to me, so that's what we're going to do. All right. Just had to pull him towards me a little bit more because I am holding my hands in front of the camera and trying to keep him on the table, which makes it a little bit harder than if I was just carving him for myself. So, still have rounding to do. I don't want to waste all the camera time on that because I can do it whenever, but that's all I'm doing to do that. Going around, taking chunks out. It's also giving his hat some pretty neat texture, okay? And it'll look like a nice hand-carved piece when we're done because, well, it was. All right. Over here, we need a little bit more. And we're pushing that back a little bit as we go and giving his hat a nice little effect. This right here, I guess we'll just make a piece of fur going across, or we'll figure something out. We'll cut that back a little more. Same on this side. Dig that down a little bit more so we can start getting this hair to flow a little bit more naturally. So I'm going to do a little bit of a scoop cut here. Okay. To start getting the hair to get a little bit more animated. Because it's going straight down, well, that's just boring. Okay. So we'll get that hair to sweep down a little bit like that. All right, let's round off some of this. I can clean up where it's dug up a little on that side. Over here on this side, do the same thing, because in this hole here I have some little bit of a mess, but that's okay. When we get our gouges out, we'll clean all that stuff up. Speaking of gouges, now let me just get this marker line's kind of annoying. Okay, we'll take that off. Let's get some gouges out. What I think I'm gonna do, what did I say? We're gonna do some kind of, maybe a pipe smoker. If we're gonna have him smoking a pipe, we're gonna definitely need, maybe we'll make his lip like this. And we can hang the pipe there. Because it'd be pulling his lip down, I guess. So I'm gonna take, where's my veiner? I'm gonna take a little, not a V-tool. Get with it, Kev. Where's the, must be this guy. Yep, that's him. And I'm gonna take some wood out under that line we just drew. Okay. Like that. I'm gonna take a bigger gouge. And smooth that wood. Like that. We're going to try and get it to go under his mustache a little bit. Okay. Turn that over. Get it to go up and under the mustache there. And that's where we'll start having his lip that we can hang a pipe off of. Let me clean that up a little bit so it doesn't confuse us. Get some of that marker out of there. You could have done all this with the gouge too, but I'm going to start hollowing just a little bit here. Now I'm going to push my vein, my gouge in here. I'm going to push that in. Give it a turn. And then we'll come up and we'll pop that chip out up here. 1, 2, a little V cut, and we'll see if we can get that sucker to come out. Okay, and then we'll have a nice little hole there for his mouth that we can hang a pipe off of. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get my other gouge, my bigger one. It's a number 8 again. We're going to take more of this beard right up by the lip there, and then down the mustache. Flip them over, and we'll start going down the mustache a little bit here. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to start making just a little gully there and a little gully here going down the sides to bring this chin out a little bit. Okay. Let me come right up to where that lip is. Try not to break that lip off, but we do want it to stand out by taking some wood out underneath it. And we'll refine it with the little veiner later. Okay, speaking of that little veiner, if we really want to dig that lip in, or even a small gouge, this corner and this corner here, you want to take out some wood going under the mustache, okay? So that definitely starts showing some shadow there. All right. And that'll start making his lip look a little bit better. We'll round it off a little bit with our knife. And that'll animate that a little bit better for us. Okay. So we'll smooth it over. Try to get it to go up and under. Just a little bit. And now his lip is up and underneath that mustache, and he's looking pretty good. We're going to run the rest of the mustache down here just a little bit more. So we're going to pick up that line, bring it down, but not all the way. All right. Come over here. Take that wedge out, just like that. Pick up this mustache line. Bring it down over here. Not all the way to the end, right? Take that sliver out, okay? And that'll start setting that mustache, making him stand out a little bit more, okay? Take that wood out a little bit around it. Just like that. And that'll give us that definition on the side, so you definitely see where his mustache is going. All right, let's round this chin. And we can even get a little bit more of a shadow underneath the mustache by taking a little bit more out there. Okay. On the bottom here, small cuts. Angling down to shape the chin. We want to have enough room so we can put that little necklace in. All right. Down here. And we're going to take our gouges and veiners, and we're going to do that mustache up. And if I want it to stand out more, I will take more out here, from here to here. Okay. And those cuts that we already have for the cheeks. We'll bring the cheeks in more, make the beard stand out a little bit more, okay? Don't be afraid to bury those cheeks into the beard. Oops. I'm going to smooth everything back. And we'll have that sticking out pretty good. All right. Now I do want to round this off. Another reason you have to bury that lip in there. We're probably going to tuck that under there a little more again. Okay. Because we don't want any sharp edges. So we're just going to lightly shave the edge off there. And then we'll tuck that lip under a little bit more. Like so. And on this side, make sure it's going underneath that mustache. Okay. All right. It's got a nice hole for a pipe. It's got a decent profile. Let's see what we can do with the gouges to texture his beard. All right. Excuse me. I'm taking the side of his nose here, and I'm kind of pushing this back just a little bit, digging it in, making a small V cut from here to here. All right, because I want to make sure I have room for that nostril and the eye. And I'm trying to set up getting that eye in there by digging the tip of my knife there and giving him just a little bit V cutting here. Okay, 1, 2. Now this is gonna bring that nose out just a little bit, and it's gonna give me room for the eyes here, right? All right, and it's going to give us a little definition for this bag. Now I want to get my gouges out, and I want to scoop a little bit under here so we can start shaping this chin just a bit. I think we'll take some right here at the corners of the lip. Don't go all the way up and hit your lip, of course. Just like that. And we'll clean that up with a little, well, we might be able to do it with this, but I don't want to reshape my lip or anything, so I'm trying to stay away from that. Just a little bit down so the mustache can ride down. And where we took out here, I'm going to slide the gouge up ever so slightly and take that down just a little bit. Where we took out here, I'm going to do the same, clear that mustache line, get it a little closer to his face there. All right, and shave this mustache line off, kind of rounding that over. Now he's not too deep there, okay? He doesn't have to be. You see how getting that nose to go under the eyebrows, though, what it does to that profile, okay? Now we're going to try and use this gouge, since the knife isn't working too good for me, to scoop some of this out, right? And leave ourselves a nice little place to put our eye. We're going to do the same thing over here, going up to the corner there, all right? And we'll scoop this out right here, like so, and give ourselves plenty of room to make 2 eyes. And then again, try and get this to go up to that point in between the eyebrows, all right? Because there's a definite point there that we're pushing all this into on both sides. Round the nose off a little bit more. Okay, so he's going to have a bulbous little nose. All right, now what do we want to do for eyes? Well, I'm going to make some waves with this gouge so the mustache doesn't look so boring. Okay, I'm just taking little bites like this. To break up the texture and animate his beard just a little. You can also do this in the hat, and it gives it a good effect for like the fur. Okay. And we're going to come right over here and do the same thing to that little beard that's on the chin. We don't want to take it down too much because we do want to make sure that that's showing. But we're just breaking it up a little bit to get a little bit of texture. And where it's too high, we take it down. Look at it. Still a little bit high right here. So I might want to take a piece or 2 out there. Anything to break that up and make it start flowing all together, okay? That works going both ways, by the way. Okay. I'm just taking little scoops. That way it just doesn't look so flat. Okay. And then we'll add more depth by making more cuts deeper later on. If he looks a little too flat and dull. Right now we're just trying to break all that up so it doesn't look just plain, right? Now I'm going to come right here with my gouge. You've seen me do this before, and we're going to take some wood out just like this, right? And go under the beard, and that's where we'll start getting our depth again. All right, let's stop cut here. Push that right into your stop cut. Clean it out. And it'll start giving him some eye bags. And right here at the end of his eyebrow, we're going to take a scoop and get a nice little divot there, so that face buries back in. Okay. We're going to do the same over here, so I'm going to stop cut. We're going to push that face right into that stop cut. Like so. Okay, and we're going to do it on this side. Just try and stay a little underneath this space that we, this is a cheekbone really, where we put that scoop there. Everything else is fair game though. Okay, but you want to leave that ridge so you have that. All right, over here at the end of his eyes, we want to scoop some wood out to thin that face down. Okay, and get it to actually dig back and in. All right, just like that. And now we've thinned the sides of his temples down. Okay, and now his beard's starting to come down, and we'll take this gouge while we have it. We're going to start flowing this way with it, making some cuts, so we can get this hair to look more flowy too. It's just a little too stick man-y. I don't know what the word would be. But I want to break up that texture, right? And I'm going to come up from here and do the same thing, coming from the back and in. Okay, trying to get some waves, being pretty random actually. Okay, same on this side. We'll come down, break it up this way first, taking that sharp edge off, kind of going towards the outside. All right, making some waves. What we don't want is it to just look straight and boring. Okay, then we're going to come from the other side, from the back, and take some wood out at random spots. Leave spaces in between. Okay, and start giving him some texture like that also. Okay, and if I want him to get a little more shadow under here, I'll just take some wood out there. Okay, gouges are great for that. We're getting depth under here. I want that to stand out a little more. And then when we add some V-tool marks or some hard cuts, we can clean that hat right up, the brim. All right, let's scoop across here for a second. Clean this up. Just like that. We'll take this over this way because this is still too square. Okay. So we want to kick that edge and We'll gouge some of that off. Any sharp edges here. And try to blend in. And it's just going to give them texture. Then we can add some hard cuts later to redefine. Right now we're just trying to blend everything in. Light little cuts. We just don't want that wood to look like it did when we were holding it in our hand as a block of wood. We want to have some kind of texture other than that. I hate just having a piece look flat and still have pieces of that wood that weren't carved. Okay. All right. Starting to look kind of cool. I might even round his nose with this gouge while I have it. If you invert your gouge, you can actually smooth that out pretty good. Turn the gouge upside down and get that little ball a little nicer. Okay. And then we can clean that up later also with our knife. All right, so we got enough room for eyes here. I'm going to thin the nose out now. I do want to leave that channel there. A little channel here. Okay. Open that up just a little more. And make sure we have enough wood taken out. We're already starting to form a natural bag underneath too. And then I'll pop that piece out just a little bit with my knife, I guess. So don't be afraid to pick up your tools and cut some wood away and see what kind of effect you get. All right, you might end up really liking it. All right, and then go from there. Which is all I'm doing. I'm just trying to say, okay, I want to shape it down a little bit more. I'm not really caring where he's dug up a little bit because we can smooth all that over. We can always put some more hard lines in. If we want to make the hair or any line deeper, of course, you know, we could recut these in real quick with the V-tool, clean them right up. All right. And the same with if we wanted to add a little more shadow to that mustache. It's a quick little V-tool cut. All right. Same with down here. The mustache. Because we got plenty of gouges and tools to play with. And then we'll just add a little bit of detail in all those texture lines that we put. So if I got it in my hand, I'm going to go around. I'm going to start using it. And I'll give him some swirly lines. Don't have to do too many. But we'll give him some that are deeper than some of those texture lines that we put in. And you can start detailing him up. And when you mix that with the textures, it just adds to the effect that people look at when they look at your carving. And he's going to look a lot more interesting. He doesn't have to be clean. I mean, you want that hand carved look. And the more of these lines you put in and the more different levels that you have, you know, highs and lows, gullies, hair, it's just all more to look at. And it really looks like, wow, there was a lot of work done on that. And it looks a lot more expensive also. Okay. Now we're going to take some of this. We're going to run some lines over here. It's just using the V tool now. Okay, to get some hair to come down that way, I might want to take a couple of scoops at the bottom to dig that out a little more. Same with here. I don't want it to come super straight down, so I might start fanning it this way a little bit. Keep your fingers out of the way at the end of that V tool. Make it a little bit deeper at the bottom. Okay. And we'll start putting ourselves some lines in here. And any high spots, you know, you just run your V tool through. Okay, to get the appearance of more hair, or more realistic hair. You run so many lines, and then you can break those lines up with other lines. Wherever there's a high spot, run it through again. Okay, and the more you do, the more you'll start getting the effect of that hair. Let's cut this hat in a little bit deeper now. We'll just bring that over with a couple of extra cuts at the bottom to make it stand out. Same over here. And 1 or 2 extra cuts there. And he's starting to blend together pretty good. I'm going to take the V tool and go around at the bottom right here, where we made a little, he's got his little pendant, okay? And if I want to harden that jawline, I can even use my V tool. On its edge, I'm kind of shaving some wood out underneath, and I'm riding along that jawline to do that. I'm taking wood out by shaving, not really cutting another V. All right, and I took the wood out there, and then I can use my gouge to blend that in and give the bottom some texture. Okay, his shirt, say. And to take a little wood out over here so that hair sticks out a little bit more. Okay, we'll do this, same thing. So any kind of movement and texture you can give your carving besides just that regular flat wood that we had there is going to help, and it's going to make it look carved. See these little lines? The whole thing will look carved, and this is just another different technique. It depends on what kind of piece you're doing, but it works well with a lot of pieces. Okay, now we'll cut that again with our V tool. And try and get that to stand out a little. Like that. And I really do put like a, I guess kind of like a little, a horn or a tooth, or this could be something like that. Just kind of make that with the V tool for a second. In the middle of his necklace or pendant or whatever that would be. All right, and then you could round that off with your knife. I mean, we have it going right to the bottom here. Should have left a little bit more room, but that's okay. We'll clean it up. Can always play with it. Can always adjust. Like I said, carving's about looking at your piece, troubleshooting it where it doesn't look the way you want. Well, then you keep carving till it does. figure something out. And if you don't like it, you just might chop that whole piece off if we screw it up and do something else. Just add more shirt or whatever. Okay. Now, if this isn't working right here, I might just use a gouge. Anything to get that to stick out and be round. Whatever I got to do to that wood to get it to come out, I will. All right. Now, even though we have texture here, I could also do this. Cut that up and make it look like it's an actual pendant because it's attached. All right. To a necklace here. And I just did that with the V-tool. Now, if I took his neck down more, all right, we could bury the neck behind this. But I got his beard kind of overhanging that, which is fine. All right. And if I want the less texture down here, then I'd shave some off. Okay. Like so. And it would look a little more like a shirt. Trying to show you all kinds of little things you can do. And you get out of it what you get out of it. You don't have to make it exactly the same as I'm doing. I'll just jump into carving like this to one thing to the next. Like I said, I didn't really have a carving planned. I had a block of wood in front of me, so just kind of working with it and seeing what I can come up with. And showing you some of the ideas that are running through my head as I'm doing it. Okay. And again, anything that's not standing out enough, I would definitely re-stop cut and make it stand out with a relief cut. Okay, if I need shadow or whatever. Same on this side, this needs to be cleaned up. But you can see where we're going with this. Taking some of these and taking some chips out on the sides. We'll give that a little bit more shadow and spots. Okay. Start making the hair wave a little bit. All right. Taking the V-tool and running it through more. Up here at the top, we could take our gouge. We could take the big gouge or the small gouge and start giving that whole hat texture. You know how they have... Plus, it helps to shape with the gouge, right? But all those little divots that we make would give him that appearance of a mountain man hat, I guess. They're kind of furry, right? So it'll give him that kind of appearance that he's wearing that type of hat that's made out of fur and skin. Just by taking gouge marks all the way across it. And it's easier to shape with the gouge than it is a knife when you get up here at the top, because the gouge will cut through it easier than a knife. Okay, and you see the texture we start getting. So you just go around and do his whole hat. Trying to keep him in the camera. I do have to put him down for this a little bit. All right. Just make him random divots. Working around. Okay. And I'll keep working that as we go. We'll clean them up and see what we want to do with those eyes. Okay.